So here we are with Group 1 breakout. We have Oslin Group, which is a general contractor, the Oregon Department of Transportation, and Stephanie from NV Drywall. And they're going to do a short little presentation about their companies, and then I'll ask them some questions specifically. So let's start with Oslin Group.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Hintz. I hold certifications in both HR and safety. Oslin Group is actually a third generation family-owned company. So when Aaron Oslin took it over, he basically did a design build concept. So he had a construction management degree, and his wife had a civil engineering degree. So together, we are actually not only a general contractor, but we also have a design portion. So we have all the architects and that field house as well. So in terms of trades, we have everything between general labor up to foremen, carpenters, and superintendents. Actually, we have a very unique position right now that's actually we're designing. We found the perfect candidate. We're kind of working around, that. And again, being a small company, you're able to do that. When you find the right person with a vast array of, abilities, we're actually she has experience in the field for project management, as well as that design administrative, type tasking. So right now I'm working on a project development manager position for her. And again, she worked herself up. She was able to, learn as much as she could on both, sides of our company. So that's always neat. But yeah, so we have some great projects. We just finished the Market of Choice here in Medford. We are working on the Oregon Cave Chateau down at the Oregon Caves by Cave Junction. We also have, we're doing retrofit projects up in, the fire departments, the schools. So we actually did a gym, and I don't know if you guys saw the big story about Grants Pass and how we were giving out these vaccines because of a snowstorm. But it made national news, and I was so excited because that was our gym on national TV. Unfortunately, they did not say Oslin Group was the one who did it, but there was still some pride when you got to see, something that they completely gutted and they put it there. So, but yeah, so that's basically Oslin Group in a niche. So. But I was in the oil field for 13 years, just moved to Oregon from Texas. So definitely safety is a huge part of my background. Also came from the Port of Corpus Christi and did safety there. But to me, if it touches a person, it belongs in human resources. So that is why, definitely take safety very seriously.
Thank you, Charlotte. Next, we'll have Stephanie from NV Drywall.
All right. So I talked earlier kind of the union side of it. With the union that I'm in, we're allowed to have our own companies on the side, as long as we're not bidding on jobs that are mainly the commercial is really what a lot of the union stuff does. So we'll get slow over the winter with the main company that I work for through the union, Cascade Acoustics. So I started my own just to stay busy during like the winter months and stuff. And I knew a general contractor that kept asking me to do little like flips and go in and do the drywall and the finishing and stuff. But the real estate agent that was buying them said, oh, she needs to be licensed and all that. So I was like, well, I might as well, I'm losing out on money. So I might as well just go get that. So I went and got my business license and all that, and, do little things here and there. And mainly for him, I got a couple contractors that I do work for. Like I just did a little like 1-bedroom apartment. I'm waiting to possibly have back surgery again, so I'm kind of doing minimal stuff, but yeah, it's it's fun. It's especially like, the union work. I worked on the new courthouse in Portland that's right on the waterfront. There's, we've done a lot of schools and just different buildings in Portland that are mixed residential and commercial. So you'll have, your storefronts down below, and then your apartments are up above, or offices or something are there. And it's just, there's a sense of pride that you get driving through town. My wife hates it because, and I think my kids do too, because I'll, be like, oh, hey, I did this or I did that. And it's, they're just tired of it, because every time we take a trip into Portland or something, I'm just like, hey, I did that one. They're like, we know, we saw that the last time we were here, or something. But it's cool to be able to, say, hey, I did this, or I was a part of this building, or, whatnot. And it's been great because I can take my kids with me when I'm doing the stuff for myself. And my girls love to try to join in. My little one will, she'll spot like 5 screws, and then she expects like $10, and then she wants to go to the Dollar Tree right away and spend it all. And I'm just like, that $10 is just going to waste, child. So now I've done it to where if I bring her along, I'll give her half of what she earned, and the other half goes in my safe, and that's her savings that I'm setting up. But there's a sense of pride of being able to, like, just even you're teaching your children something that's useful. Maybe they never go into that trade, or you start a trade and decide, oh, I don't really, this one's not a good fit, I'm gonna go try this. You're learning useful things that you're going to be able to, whether it's giving somebody else some advice, or we were kind of talking about that earlier, about how somebody knows you're in a trade, and all of a sudden they're asking you questions about, plumbing, and you're like, I'm a drywall finisher. I just put mud on the wall and, create dust when it's ready and stuff. But, it's so fun, and you get to meet people from other trades. Everyone's been pretty accepting, and, you have a few run-ins as a female, a little bit of sexual harassment. But honestly, there's not much that I've encountered. I've heard horror stories, but everybody that I've kind of encountered has been quite accepting and willing to teach you. And, you realize that, or they realize that, they're not gonna be able to do this, till they die. So the newer, younger kids coming in are what is needed. And if we train them properly, then, we're going to continue to have that trade and that motivation and all of that stuff, and the pride with it as well. So yeah,
Great. Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah.
And then we have Barbie from ODOT.
Hi, so I'm Barbie Gold with ODOT. I'm a journeyman electrician. What we do here at ODOT is we maintain traffic signals. So any kind of response maintenance, the electrical crew does. So if you have something hit or a knockdown or any of that sort of thing, along with the facilities on our building. My unit, traffic signal services unit, we actually do all of the testing. So any traffic signal in the state, we are the only licensed lab that can do all of the pre-turn on checkouts. So any cabinet comes from our vendors, comes to us, we do a full operational and physical check on the cabinet. Then it goes to the turn on process, and we're in charge of all of ODOT's and many of the smaller municipalities that we do intergovernmental agreements on for their turn-ons as well. And then on top of that, if you have a modification, like let's say you want to put flashing yellow arrows or additional signal head, our crew goes out and does that. Also, we do statewide inspections. So we travel throughout the state to do all of those things. I spoke earlier, so I'll try to just skim over because I'm a journeyman electrician. Been in the trade for 21 years now. To get my position, you have to have an electrical license. And I am such a small niche. I'm the only one in the state who holds this position. And my unit is a total of 5 people. So we're, like I said, a super tiny little niche. But it's such a broader trade. Really, it just encompasses anything you want to, anything you find. Like, I mean, I found this little niche. I knew at 17 I wanted to work on signals, and here I am. But there's industrial, there's commercial, there's just a million little niches, and it's just an ability to never stop learning. I think the trades as a whole are like that. I don't know, like I said, I know I touched on this earlier, but I have tons of family who's in the trades, and they've all started off doing one thing and they've gotten to do a million different things. Like my biggest thing is, I'm so proud of my husband. He started the apprenticeship a little after I did for the plumbing, and he started off just plumbing houses up in Hillsboro, and now he works for a major mechanical contractor. He does all their CAD and BIM designs, wears a suit and tie to work, which is kind of funny, big transition. Yeah, it's for ODOT though, we're always looking for electricians, especially right now with everyone aging out, and especially finding someone who's into this niche, because we know no matter whoever we hire, we'll have to train. Because my division not only does this, but we do all of the roadside devices as well, like VMS signs and weather stations. So if you go on Trip Check, that's my crew who does actually all of the field work. So lots of networking, lots of electrical work, building services, that sort of thing. So again, we know we're going to train our people. If you have that electrical license, you are, there will never not be a demand for your electrical license, no matter what avenue you choose. But for us, I mean, we are struggling. We have 3 positions in Portland that we can't fill for the ITS side. The Region 2 electrical just had a failed recruitment. We have 2 openings here that are going to be coming up within the next month or 2. And really, your foot in the door is just having your license. So, and ODOT's just a great place to work. We get to work on really cool stuff. So, I don't know what else to add.
No, that's fine. Thanks, Barbie. So one of the questions that students have in at least the past is kind of what the pay scale's like. We've heard some of the sharings that, even starting out, you're probably making at least $20 an hour. Charlotte, do you have anything that you can tell us about Oslin's pay starting out?
It really just depends if it's a prevailing wage job or not. So we just finished the weekend brewery. That was not a prevailing wage job. People there on that job were making about 22 to 28, depending on their position. And then when you get into prevailing wage, prevailing wage is something new. In the oil field, we didn't have prevailing wage. We just had a single, here you go. So it was, I think they could be making up to 43 an hour. And then remember, then also part of that and then there's a match part that goes into like their 401k. So I've had a gentleman who he's worked with us for 3.5 years. He's been on and off prevailing wage jobs, and literally just got to put a whole bunch of money down on a house. So, and that was, he got the hardship loan to be able to do that. So, but yeah, and then our accounting department, that was the other good thing, is that, we have so many vast, positions in construction. We actually have a project accountant. She's probably making 48 a year. She is hourly, so it does, kind of fluctuate. But yes, so she's able to work with all my construction teams on all of the projects. So she's in control of the project accounting. But yeah.
Great. And then just to explain to students, prevailing wage, when you are working on either federally funded or state funded projects, there's a minimum wage that has to be paid for each position. Generally, it ties into how much union workers make in the area, so that we are sure that everybody is getting paid a fair amount on those projects. And generally, they do tend to be a higher wage than if you were working for a non-union company. So,
and here at Osland, we're actually able to do private and public. So, as Stephanie was talking about how, everything is kind of up and down, we actually plan out. So we do a lot of the federal jobs in the summer. And then in the spring, in the winter and springtime, we're able to then do a lot of our private, like the banks and private bills. So.
Great. And then I would think ODOT, so Barbie, you said your people that you're looking for need to already be licensed, so they would have already had to have gone through an apprenticeship program. What's kind of the pay range for you guys?
We're from about 7,000 to 9,000 a month,
Okay.
full package. I mean, that includes your hourly wage and your 6% going into retirement. But we have lots of overtime opportunities. So I think that most of the techs are making about 100,000 a year.
And that's after you've already gone through your schooling and finished that.
Correct.
So,
yeah, we don't have the ability to train. We just can't give a enough rounded apprenticeship.
And then Stephanie.
Not only for the electrical license, we have the ability to train you for the niche market.
Yeah. Stephanie, what about you mentioned in your video about $40 on prevailing wage projects. What about for the private stuff you're doing on the side?
I kind of just bid per project. It's roughly around somewhere between 85 cents and $1 per board foot. So it just, and that's different than your square feet, obviously. A lot of people like, oh, well, it's 800 square feet. How much would you charge for that? But it's really, I need to see the job, look at how many, there's 32 square feet in a board, but, so I have to calculate it that way. But yeah, it's, for me, that's kind of how it is. I don't really like to do a time and material type thing because there's always something that goes wrong. And, so I just say, hey, this is, what I'm going to bid. And, and you have to realize that you're not going to get rich off of one single project. So if you go in and say, hey, I'll charge $2,500 for this job or whatever, and then the next person they get is like, oh, well, I could do it for $1,500. It's like, well, why is there such a difference? Well, I'm losing out on a job because I think I'll make a quick buck. I'm still going to make a quick buck, but I don't need to basically steal money from people, essentially. But yeah, and then with that, like I don't have the ability to offer health insurance and that stuff yet. It's just me for my company. Occasionally I have a friend that might come help, but he's got his own company as well, so he's covered under his own stuff. But with the union, yeah, it's about $40 and some change, $41. I'm not really too sure. I get it direct deposited, and it's always the same amount. And so I don't ever pay attention to it. I know the full package right now is like $55.59, and that's your, your pension, your health and welfare and stuff. That it's nice because they allow you to bank up to like 6 months of health insurance. So if you happen to be slow or whatever, you've got, over those winter months, you can use that, still have your health insurance and not have to worry about it depleting basically, and having to figure out what you're going to do during that time. Also, they're offering free schooling right now. So like I'm going back to school for construction management just because there's free schooling available, so I might as well. So there's all these things, and some of us are pushing union, and it's not I don't care if you go into my union, go to a union is kind of what our thing is, and that might not be your fit, maybe non-union's better. I mean, it's nice to work for myself because I can make my own hours. I can spend time with my girls. I can bring them onto the jobs and show them. So there's positives and negatives to both sides. So yeah.
Great. And we're about to get cut off. So I want to thank you guys for sharing and appreciate your giving the kids an opportunity to know what it's really like out in the real world.